fresh from 3 months in the hospital, still hooked to a feeding tube, my first taste of freedom was shattered by a mother who demanded I educate her children. I had been in hospital due to anorexia for 3 months and was finally allowed to go out with my dad. I had an NG tube in and had to stay in my wheelchair, but I didn't really care because I was so excited to be out of the hospital for a bit. My dad and I were in Starbucks, and a couple of tables across from us was a mum and her 2 kids. From the minute I went in, I could see the kids staring at me, but I understood. They were just young and curious. After about 20 minutes of sitting with my dad, I could barely focus on our conversation because I could still see them staring directly at me. At this point, I was thinking, surely the mum would tell them to stop. The minute my dad got up to go to the bathroom, I heard the mum say, "Let's go and ask her." So these kids came over to me and started bombarding me with questions about my feeding tube and wheelchair. I politely explained that the tube helped me get nutrition and the wheelchair helped me get around easier. It got to the point where they were begging me to tell them what was wrong with me, and I was so uncomfortable. I made eye contact with the mum and she came over. I was thinking she'd get her kids, but instead she said, "For God's sake, tell them what's wrong with you, they need to learn." My dad thankfully came back and asked what the issue was, as this woman was now raising her voice at me. She had a rant at my dad, basically saying I was a brat, that I needed to grow up, I was 15, and that her kids had the right to learn about the real world. Whilst this was happening, I was trying to stop one of the kids who was pulling at my feeding tube. Anyway, my dad is amazing and shouted in this twat's face, which did indeed get us kicked out of Starbucks. The end. I know some may think, why not just tell them you have anorexia? It didn't feel responsible, as I would probably have had to explain what that is, and at the age of these kids, they really didn't need that word in their vocabulary. I spent a lot of time when I was in a general children's ward trying to shelter the other kids from my illness. Her request is baffling, but it makes you wonder, why do some strangers feel entitled to comment on or even dictate the lives of others, especially when they are visibly struggling?